And good evening, everybody. I'm Keith Kuntz.
I'm Ann Nyberg. The state archaeologist was called into New Haven today after skeletal remains were found at a site near Yale.
That's right. Construction workers found the bones earlier this afternoon, and investigators say they had been there for a very long time, dating back to the 1800s. News 8's Allie Reed, live in New Haven tonight with the details on this still developing story. Allie?
Construction workers have been working here on the addition to Yale-New Haven Hospital's emergency room. This morning they were excavating right here when they came across human remains. A state archaeologist who was at the site examining the skeletal remains says it's two different human remains that were found. He says each skeleton was found inside of a coffin and says the wood, coffins, and bones had decomposed. He says the human remains were laid out in the same position, one he says was a typical Christian burial position. They're both on their backs with their arms crossed over each other and their heads are facing to the west. He says the remains date back to the 1800s when there was a cemetery on the site. He will be examining the remains over the next couple of days, but he says this is definitely not a modern crime scene, but rather ancient remains.
Tomorrow we're gonna work this afternoon. I've got my students. We're gonna go down there. We're gonna start mapping, recovering what's exposed, and then by tomorrow I'm gonna work into the wall. I'm hoping to find evidence of the coffins and other material that might be there.
Now, the archaeologist says more bodies could be here underground, but he says there is just this one excavation site that the construction workers plan on being at, so he says no other bodies will be dug up. He's going to be investigating for the next couple of days. Construction has been halted for those couple of days, and he says once they've completed their investigation, they will rebury the bodies at a colonial area cemetery in the area. Live in New Haven, Allie Reed, News 8.